Welcome back onto theCUBE here in Chicago for Boomi World 2026. Live coverage, 2 days of interviews unpacking the agentic future, the AI, and the platform. Here with Gemma Allen, my co-host. We've got two great guests. Dan's coming back, Dan McAllister, Senior Vice President, back again, Global Alliances and Channels. Good to see you.
Thank you, appreciate it again.
Ritesh Keshri, Senior Director, Agentic Integrations and Orchestrations at LTM.
Thank you for having me here.
Love your title. It's got all the things that we love about agentic, integration, and orchestration. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Wonderful energy. I can see wonderful discussions on AI and agentic. But you know what is much more interesting and exciting? Behind the scenes integration guy, getting so much lights and cameras and actions.
Integration. Well, I wrote a post that said integration's not middleware anymore. You're starting to see the agentic engineering layer emerge that will enable lots of value creation and value extraction. That's a lot of tech. And Jan, Boomi's been doing this work for a long time. You had an agent last year, Control Tower.
Yeah.
Good bet there.
That's right.
How's it playing out with customers? Talk about the relationship, how you guys are working together, and how's that rendering into the marketplace?
It is rendering out wonderful. So if you look from a partnership perspective with Boomi, we are a global GSI Platinum partner with Boomi. We are a member of their decorated partner advisory board. We are also recognized for last multiple years for Partner of the Year awards, so we take great pride in that, right? But if you look at from a 360-degree perspective, the wonderful relationships we have built in the Boomi ecosystems with our customers, with our partners, and the wonderful solutions, AI agentic solutions that we have built, that have added lots of values. I can talk about some of those solutions and where the customers is headed as we move
forward. What about the
forward.
industries that are impacted? Because you're seeing a pattern where even in regulated industries, they're actually done a lot of data prep. But now they get great tailwind, and then other areas there have been good data storers or hoarders, but then have to figure it all out and get it activated. Talk about the different industries and how they're approaching the data activation.
Okay, if I could put it in a plain, simple English, there are customers who are at different stages of the game, right? It's, if you look at it, it's like we have a giant, big tub of agentic AI butter, and everyone is trying to find a bread, right? What we need to look at is whether the customer is still making the dough, is he ready to bake, is he ready to slice, or has he already toasted the bread and is ready to apply the butter? So the point I'm trying to make is, at different points in the customer's journey, what we are seeing is one size does not fit all. There is one set of customer who is looking for depth in an integrations platform. He may only be using, say, the iPaaS of the Boomi, right? He may only be using the EDI component or the MFT or the MDH component, right? Yeah. And he's looking for depth in that. Yeah. Whereas there is another set of customer who's a little more mature, and he wants to look at the entire gamut of the Boomi offerings in one piece, right? He wants to create his agentic layer on top of that unified integrations platform so that his agents can talk very well with the underlying platforms that they have, right? Now, if you look at both of these from a customer's perspective, right? Everyone is headed toward, I want to do agentic. Customer is looking for outcomes. They have invested enough on the AI piece they have put in, they are ready for return on investment. They're looking for that. Yeah. So that's one important piece that we have to look at when we are talking from a customer's perspective.
I love the baking analogy, by the way, because we had Post on stage this morning as part of the customer keynote. Also have a daughter moving into culinary, so it hits home for us, but really any industry can benefit from what we're doing here. And I think that's what really this power of AI is doing, and all the advancements you're seeing from Boomi is that there may have been other industries like financial services traditionally invest in technology first. You're now seeing that taken down to things like utilities, who don't necessarily invest in a lot of what they're doing, have been able to take all of this legacy data, make use of it, put it into AI models and AI agents, and actually modernize very quickly so they can leapfrog, perhaps, maybe some of these models that they missed in the past.
Okay, so since we're going to stay on the baking analogy, I have to ask, what's coming out of the oven and what needs baking a little bit further? Because the progression, we're seeing the adoption accelerate, and certainly agents and AI and the enterprise lagged, but once coding hit, it's been much faster. So there's a lot more standards, A to A, MCP, engineering going on. Yes. What's ready and what's baking?
I'm glad you asked that, right? So there are two things we need to understand, the construct part of it, the consume part of it. The construct part is where Boomi is giving us the foundational capabilities to build on. Build on the MCP capabilities, build on the Boomi's Agent Studio, and all others. And then the consume part is where we host them, post them, and expose it to the customers, right? Now we at LTM, we have started building agents as simple as doing individual tasks in the day-to-day operations, right? Like building your agent to just monitor a process, run a process, schedule a process. But then we are looking at the other bigger picture of end-to-end autonomous agents, right? Where they are capable of, connecting to Claudes or Groks or Geminis and using MCP to run an end-to-end flow. I'll take a simple example like demand forecast, right? Simple business user, he wants to build a demand forecast system. What he does is, he goes into Claude and he wants to do it, but then he does not have access to all the internal systems, the legacy integrations that we used to build. So to build a demand forecast, what he needs is he wants to go and look at Salesforce to get the customer's data, or look at the inventory system and get that one. Or again, depend on external factors. Is it a holiday season? Should I be expecting more sales? Is it weather dependent? Is it going to get cold? I don't need sunscreens right now. So all those factors which are externally dependent. Get all of this data, build it into the flow, right? And then go back and create those orders in either the order management system. Bring human in the loop, wherein you have orders exceeding a certain amount, right? So that's example like in the retail. Similarly in insurance, where you want to include vision AI, voice AI, brain AI in all your insurance claims processing. Or even in manufacturing, you're monitoring your production system lines. So yeah, across the board, we have built all of those MCP capabilities, use cases depending on business needs. And yeah, we are doing great there for our customers.
If we stay on that retail example for a second, right, that is a good example. There are also instances, though, where there is data needed to really triangulate that picture around demand that doesn't yet exist, like predictive data, right? Some folks in the retail space didn't even get to that maturity level at their data layer.
Yeah, that's right.
How are you guys solving for that, for the missing parts that need to come in, to really enable this opportunity?
Yeah. Well, so far as Boomi, we have seen hundreds of thousands of different data sources over our existence. And what we're so excited about to launch this week is Companion. And so when I think about, just take that baking analogy one step further, we've now given everybody the microwave. They can move much faster than they did before.
Air fryers are better than microwave.
Air fryers,
I love air fryer.
Yeah.
But instead of taking so much time to bake and create these things and hand code and even code fast in Boomi in previous existence, you now have the knowledge of the thousands of consultants that have come through our doors and been trained on our systems in your hip pocket with Companion. You have the knowledge from all of those integrations distributed out to you as a forward deployed engineer at the client site to access all of this data that's been created in these enterprises and move that much more quickly. And so we're giving companies like LTM and our great partners here the power to innovate, leverage the knowledge that we've built up over the last several decades, and innovate at the edge so much more quickly than they were able to do in the past.
And let's stay on that topic for a second of iteration, right? And I guess really from the perspective of partnerships and like innovation, things are moving so quickly right now. We used to a world where the tech partner network was much of an execution network, right? Yeah. Now you guys are learning moment to moment, like minute to minute, millisecond to millisecond. How is that changing the nature of these types of alliances and relationships and how you guys work together?
Yeah, I think it's bringing us closer. I'll let you comment in a second because the speed of innovation is so great, as you said. What we hear from our customers most often is after they say how excited they are is, how are we going to actually make this work? And so we have to partner very, very closely and distribute this knowledge out as fast as we can. We allow our services organization to collaborate with them. We're giving them information as it's available. We are so close and tied at the hip at every single moment, not only in the delivery side, but in the product development side. We're giving them previews, we're doing briefings for them. They know about it well before it happens, and so when it's available, they're there to help us with us. And we're also there to help them with the customer deployments as well. Again, putting them in a great position to succeed at the clients.
And that is correct. We are as strong as the platform is, right? Unless Boomi platform has all of those innovative capabilities and AI capabilities that they are built upon, we cannot do beyond it. What we bring to the table is the industry knowledge, the domain knowledge, the business cases, the business users, how they work day to day. All of the examples that I was talking about in insurance or manufacturing or retail, those are what we learn from the customers and try to solve those business problems for them, get those business outcomes out.
Share with us some of the more surprising learnings, right? We know some of the kind of headline learnings from this phase, but what have you seen that surprised you in terms of actual enablement, and operationalizing, even like Agentic Agent Studio as an example?
Change is the biggest surprise. You prepare for something today, and 2 months, 3 months down the line, it has changed, it's not there, right? So we have been at least focused on some of those areas, like MCP. I know it started about 1.5 years ago. We built our focus on that. We knew that MCP is going to stay, and all of the integration platforms are supporting that now. So our focus was to make sure that we build capabilities around MCP, we build solutions around MCPs. The other change is adoption. Customers need to, increase the rate of adoption on their side. That's one thing where I think it's slow. They have invested enough in AI. It's time they get, for what they paid for. So that's one thing I think.
Noticed that on the orchestrate, and we heard this from the CTO at Boomi, the building side of the Boomi business is growing. It's booming, so to speak, pun intended. So the Automate's got great experience, but with the open source companion, we'll hear that on stage tomorrow, but the cat's already out of the bag, so you start to see that open claw kind of vibe going in the Boomi community. How do you see that playing out? A lot more building. You got the Academy, AI.ai, Boomi Academy, Agentic Academy.
There you go.
So this is a new dynamic. I mean, you always had builders inside Boomi.
That's right.
But now the building's accelerating on top of Boomi. How is that playing out?
Well, I'll just comment on that. I think, again, one thing that's surprising, but also in response to how fast this innovation is happening, is the flexibility it's giving us to serve the needs of the various clients that we have in the different user communities. You're right, at some point in the past, there was only a limited set of people who could handle this type of work. There might be some innovation at the edge, there might be some users who do light work on Boomi. Now we're putting that power in the hands of a lot more people, right? We've opened the tent to take in many, many more people into the community, and at the same time, giving them much more knowledge. And what's really neat about the different products that you're seeing is that you have Boomi Connect, incredibly easy way to connect your agentic models all the way through to the data sources, the systems of records, which is a struggle for companies today to actually bring those systems live, right? So we're giving them very fast opportunities to innovate and experiment. At the same time, you have the power developers, and that's what Companion is really designed for, able to move so much more quickly, right? They can use that governed environment, right, in Boomi, but also vibe code at the same time, right? And so you can have somewhat of a split screen of seeing it happen in the Boomi canvas, but also have all the power of the developer. And so you're serving the same need about how do I bring my data together and serve the agentic models and the rest of my enterprise, but you can serve it different audiences side by side and allow just everybody to participate in this innovation, yeah.
So folks, talk to us about, final question, what's ahead for this partnership? What does the next 6 to 12 months look like for you guys?
I can put some perspective. So there are 3 perspectives which I would like to present. One is, of course, the platform perspective. We are talking agents everywhere. What we need to talk also now is the agent governance, which we heard in our keynote. It's very strong on Boomi's agenda. Making data available to those agents, making those agents are able to talk to each other. There is good orchestration between them. We are dependent on platforms for that, and I think Boomi is doing a really good job there.
Yeah.
The second is the experience that we give to our customers. So enabling capabilities like MCP, A2As, right? To make sure that the customers are getting the real outcomes that they were looking for. So that's important. And third, from a customer's perspective, the adoption that has to get better with time. As I said, they need returns on their money that they've invested on, so they are looking for it now, and all our outcomes need to be trusted outcomes, intelligent outcomes, those have to come in, yeah.
Yeah, I would just add that I think we're finally going to see the ROI that we all expected from AI when we first started talking about it 3 years ago, right? So we have enough technology in place, we have enough guardrails in place, we have the right partners in place to really help our customers get through this journey, and this promise of AI, that shockingly is mentioned, and thought of in every waking minute that we're alive, has achieved very low enterprise adoption, any meaningful business scale, right, or any function. And so we're there, and we're going to see this happen, really fast now. And so it's super exciting to see you guys bring it to life.
Same here.
Great to see, and see the teamwork and partnerships in the new era requires a new kind of collaboration. Congratulations, great to see you again. Thanks for coming on. And
Thank
wrapping
you.
up our day one here in theCUBE.
Thank
Gemma.
you so much.
Thank you.
It was
All
wonderful,
right.
thank you.
Gemma Allen, John Furrier here at theCUBE, wrapping up day one. We'll be back tomorrow live here in Chicago for Boomi World 2026. Stay with us and see you tomorrow.